and time again, we hear illegal immigrants are taking jobs from struggling Americans and that they should go back to their countries.
Like one of the least powerful people in the United States are migrant workers who come and do our work, but don't have any rights as a result. And yet we still invite them to come here and at the same time ask them to leave. And that's an interesting contradiction to me.
This country offered more opportunities for the people and then for our families, and then we decide to stay here and then to give more education for our kids.
The Bracero program began in 1942, allowing Mexican nationals to temporarily work in the U.S., primarily in the agricultural industry. American President Franklin D. Roosevelt met with Mexican President Manuel Ávila Camacho in Monterrey, Mexico, to discuss Mexico as part of the Allies in World War II and the Bracero program. This program that was supposed to benefit these immigrants resulted in inexpensive labor for U.S. employers. Despite being accepted into the U.S. economy, white Americans prevented these Mexican immigrants from assimilating into society because of their skin color. As an outcome, they were at the bottom of the social hierarchy due to below minimum wage paying jobs. However, discussions surrounding the Bracero Plan broke down, prompting the Mexican government to send 5,000 troops to its border along the United States. As a result, President Eisenhower appointed Joseph Swing to fix border control issues in order to alleviate labor negotiations with Mexico, and that's when the goals for a plan called Operation Wetback were instilled. In 1953, Operation Wetback was commenced in hopes of relieving the United States from the immigrant problem. Operation Wetback was a deportation plan of the United States Immigration and Naturalization Service to eliminate illegal Mexican immigrants known as wetbacks from the Southwest. It resulted in more than 3.8 million people of Mexican heritage being sent back across the border. During the first decades of the 20th century, the majority of migrant workers who crossed the border illegally did not have suitable protection against mistreatment by American farmers. After implementation, Operation Wetback was met with allegations of abuse and suspension of certain civil rights of Mexicans that were captured and deported by U.S. Border Patrol. They adopted the practice of stopping Mexican-looking citizens on the street and asking for identification. As the mistreatment and racial profiling of these migrant workers continued, activists such as Cesar Chavez began advocating for equal rights and opportunity for all field workers. In 1962, he co-founded the National Farm Workers Union. Such advocacy called for reform within the U.S. government in order to bring more economic, social, and legal opportunity for the migrant community, which led to Reagan's amnesty proposal.
But it is true our borders are out of control. It is also true that this has been a situation on our borders back through a number of administrations. And I supported this bill. I believe in the idea of amnesty for those who have put down roots and who have lived here, even though some time back they may have entered illegally.
The 1986 Immigration Reform and Control Act had benefits for migrant workers and undocumented individuals. This bill granted citizenship to any illegal immigrant who entered the U.S. before 1982. Also, the act legalized certain seasonal agricultural immigrants after a 6-month period.
The amnesty in 1986, I think, it was
maybe a right choice.
Yeah, right choice from the government to sign this bill, and then we had more freedom, less stress, and then another opportunities to find another type of jobs, another kind of jobs.
Well, working in the field is difficult. The majority of the people that works in the field are Hispanic, and most of them they're Mexicans.
It is contradictory that, in one hand, employer sanctions are meant to restrict the employment of undocumented workers and preserve the U.S. labor market for legal residents and citizens. And on the other hand, special foreign worker programs are designed to enhance the supply of immigrant workers and ask them to work in our country for cheap labor.
Well, over and over again, we hear the people claiming that illegal immigrants are stealing the jobs from struggling Americans. But the real question is, during this recession, when unemployment is skyrocketing, would Americans really want to do those jobs? Would Americans really leave the unemployment line and give up their free handout in order to do back-breaking farm work or the less than desirable jobs like cleaning toilets? I've got a feeling that they wouldn't, but
11 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Those could be American jobs. Those could be tax-paying jobs.
We're not necessarily stealing the jobs. I believe, or I think that the jobs are available for everyone. But the jobs in the fields are more for immigrants because they don't have, or we don't have choice. And well, most of the Americans have more education than us, and well, they're more prepared in a way, and well, they are prepared, but they're not prepared for the hardness of this type of job entail.
Over the years, the idea that all Hispanic immigrants were taking jobs became quickly accepted, leading towards the discrimination of the Hispanic community. However, resentment towards all Hispanics, legal and illegal, became culturally represented and socially embedded because of political and social actions.
Learn how to speak English.
I speak English just fine.
You do, but these people don't.
I talk English and what?
No.
You see us?
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Why am I upset?
Yeah, I just want to understand.
Okay. I went to Lowe's today, and the cashier was speaking Spanish. I particularly don't enjoy speaking Spanish in my country. Our country, our Constitution, our laws are being ignored by a whole group of people.
How many people here are documented? You all documented?
Oh, yeah? You too? There are 12 million illegals in this country.
You was legal too before.
You came from England.
You come from Europa. Everybody.
My
legal.
ancestors
when
came
you first
here
come
before
here,
there was a constitution.
Your daddy was illegal.
Before there was
no paper.
There was no government. There were no houses. You guys better go back to school and learn how to read and write English and study the Constitution, the laws of this country. If you go to school and study and don't get into one of those gangs and you go to college, then I applaud you.
What else am I going to do?
Well, I tell you what, I've seen so many here that wasted everything.
Other people, not me. They're here legally, okay? And they
That's
are
right.
American citizens.
That's great.
They speak English.
That's great.
Parents work very
That's
hard.
great.
I've been experiencing racism and discrimination since day one.
Despite the hardships that many Hispanic immigrants face because of the ideals of white supremacy due to their skin color, they still willingly endured these obstacles in hopes of equal opportunity and prosperity.
I think it's take time, but actually we are grateful to have the opportunity to being in that transition to be an American.